Hello, Giants fans. Welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants beat the Rockies 4-1 today, so they've taken the third straight in this series. They end up absolutely destroying the Rockies, and it's a 3-game sweep for them, as well as the fourth win in a 4-game winning streak that they're on right now. And Jordan Hicks started today, and he pitched 5 innings, allowing 1 run. And what really was noticed about him today was the fact that his velocity just wasn't there the way it has been in the past. And honestly, I think that is totally what we would need to expect, given just the highly unusual transition on his part from the bullpen to the rotation. It's certainly not that we don't see those kinds of transitions, but I mean, when we do, it's usually with guys who were pitching in more of a long relief role, and they're just better. Their stamina is kind of already there to get them into a starting role, but it really wasn't the case with Jordan Hicks. He was essentially being used as a short reliever and pitching in the late innings up until this point when the Giants signed him. And he really just had spring training to get stretched to the point of actually being able to start. And obviously that carried with it just all different kinds of adjustments, but the biggest one was saving energy, because, I mean, he has to be prepared to throw a lot of pitches, and he had to just transition to the new mentality on the mound that a starter has to have, in the sense of not going all in at once, but you know, keeping some pitches in you. And that really is the fundamental difference between the mindset of a starter and reliever. Can you go all out to get a few outs, or do you have to really save the stuff that you have to go a long time? And that adjustment is one that I think is just the most, I think the biggest one, and even bigger, honestly, than just the raw aspect of throwing more pitches than you're used to, and maybe for some it even bigger than adjusting to facing the lineup multiple times and having to come up with new stuff. Although I certainly can't say this with certainty, but I mean, chances are, in the case of a guy like Jordan Hicks, it was really comparable to that kind of consideration, and of course they're related. But so it should come as no surprise that Hicks is losing velocity, and it's certainly not something to panic over. And I totally expect too that I'm confident that it's going to go back up when he just. It's a process where there's a lot to get used to. And I think it will start to go back up, and it's not. He probably will never throw as hard as he did as a reliever, but I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think his fastball will be as low as it was today forever. I think seeing 94 is certainly a realistic expectation for the future. But he got through it, pitched 5 innings, allowing 1 run. That was the first inning home run by Ryan McMahon. And the Giants, though, with timely hitting, getting runners on and just hitting the ball in a timely manner, took care of that, put up 3. And, I mean, after Hicks' departure, Sean Jelly came in the 6th, and it's Other interesting thing I forgot to mention, I'll just interject here, is that Kirk Casale, he's coming through with a 2-hit day today, and like that is big. And I mean, he's for sure off to a hot start, and definitely hotter than I expected. But I mean, at the same time, it would be good to realize just the fact that at the end of the day, he is a player who's not coming off of a good large sample size history. So I'm still saying, over the long run, we shouldn't necessarily expect this to materialize like the way we saw it. And I mean, yeah, excuse me, I know I said 3. The Giants put up 4 runs total, and the bullpen with Sean Jelly, Luke Jackson, and Taylor Rogers. I'm sorry, it was at least the 3 of them who pitched. They finished it off. I think Doval pitched today as well. I'm not. You correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that he did. And it was a good one to finish off against the Rockies. And I mean, I think certainly we can look at what Jordan Hicks did in working through a day where he didn't naturally have his best stuff. But I mean, he worked through it and he got the job done, and that's really what you want on pitchers. I think there's a good chance that when he was on the mound, he didn't exactly feel it today, and yet at the same time, you know, he just plugged through, and he got the job done for the Giants, enabling them to win this game. So it's a very encouraging result over the weekend after what we've recently been seeing, and definitely what the Giants needed to get them back on track. And I mean, they just have to go into their next series. They are still they're in the race here, and they're in the middle of it, and it's just going to heat up as more time passes. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Also, please leave your questions and comments. You know where to do it. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.